This is News 10 Good Morning.
And good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, September 16th. We've got Alicia Malaby in for Sharon Ito.
Enjoying her week off, I bet. She's sleeping in, living it up.
We've got Melissa watching the roads.
And Monica on the weather, watching the hurricane.
We'll take a look at our weather forecast in just a minute.
And we're going to get to that in just a minute, but first want to get you out the door with the latest traffic information. So let's go to our maps and point out any trouble spots. In the Central Valley is what we're looking at. Watch for an accident southbound 99, the Mariposa on-ramp blocking the northbound on-ramp. At that location, they're trying to clear out 30,000 pounds of dirt. Heads up for that. What else to expect? Pretty typical speeds on the freeways right now as we take it live outside, including Highway 50 here at Hazel. You'll also have a normal commute on Interstate 80. Air 10 showing us a good commute on 5 right now, top of town by 80. Back to you guys.
All right, well, today we are going to start off with clear skies throughout the valley. Temperature-wise, we're in the 60s for the most part. Here's a live look at our live weather network. 57 for Pollock Pines and 55 for Lake Tahoe. Your school forecast for today, starting off right around 65. Sunny at recess time from 11 to noon. 78 degrees at sunrise, 6:49. 5-day forecast. Look at that weekend outlook. 70s with partly cloudy skies, even the threat for rain, and we'll get to that in just a minute. First, the latest on Hurricane Ivan, and you can see from our live radar that it continues to make landfall and push in through the south with the potential for tornadoes throughout the day. I'll have more on this in our local forecast. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Monica. As she mentioned, Hurricane Ivan hit land shortly after midnight.
Coming ashore at Gulf Shores, Alabama, near Mobile. It came ashore as a Category 3 storm. Let's get the latest now from reporter Darren Lynn, live in Mobile.
Good morning. Ivan continues to produce heavy winds along the Gulf Coast. Here in Mobile, Alabama, nearly 200,000 residents are without power. And even though we're at the tail end of the storm, Ivan isn't done yet. Winds up to 120 miles an hour whip through Mobile, Alabama, bending trees in half and knocking out power throughout the area. As Hurricane Ivan blows through the Gulf Coast, the streets are virtually empty. Ivan is battering the coastline with storm surges between 10 and 16 feet. Flooding is feared as much as 12 blocks inland, and another 16 inches of rain is expected to make matters even worse. Shelters were set up for evacuees along the coast. In New Orleans, the Superdome was turned into one gigantic shelter for those in need of a safe place to stay. Residents don't want to have anything to do with Ivan.
He's 83. He's my father, and I thought, I got to get him out. It'd be just me, it wouldn't be so bad, but I didn't want to risk him.
Police continued to patrol the streets throughout the night, trying to enforce the mandatory evacuation. One bar owner decided he wasn't going to let Ivan get the best of his business and kept sandbagging throughout the night.
It's got me a little anxious. I've been here through a bunch of them and haven't ever had it happen in here before. This one has got me a little worried.
Ivan is by no means music to anyone's ears, but for those trying to weather the storm, they'll just make the best of it. Some sad news this morning. At least 12 people have been killed because of Ivan. In Florida, 7 people died during tornadoes produced by the storm. In Louisiana, 4 evacuees died during Ivan. And also in Florida, an 8-year-old girl was crushed by a tree. I'm Darren Lynn reporting live for ABC News in Mobile, Alabama. Now back to you.
Sad indeed. All right, thanks, Darren. 6:32. It's been a busy hurricane season, and now meteorologists are keeping their eye on another hurricane. Hurricane Jeanne has just been elevated from tropical storm status. Wednesday, Jeanne ripped through Puerto Rico, and this morning she appears to be headed for the Dominican Republic. It could hit anywhere between Florida and South Carolina by the end of the week or start of next week.
A controversial decision by the Rockland School Board happened last night. The Rockland Unified School District Board voted unanimously that parents must be notified if students are released for certain kinds of medical appointments. News 10's Dave Marquis joins us now live to explain. And Dave, this change goes against the vast majority of California districts.
Well, that's true, Alicia. It does, but the parents who brought this before the board and supporters who worked so hard for it say they're willing to buck that trend and possibly even state law because of their strong feelings on this issue. Now, the district's previous policy, like those of many other California districts, allowed schools to release students from 7th through 12th grade for medical appointments involving reproductive health, mental health, or substance abuse without notifying parents. Now, though, by a unanimous vote, the district board has overturned that policy. From now on, parents will have to be notified.
I am very happy that the school has decided to support the parents, and it actually allows a more cohesive environment for the parents and the school to work together. So we know that we can trust them.
I think that the policy should have stayed the same, and that students should have a right to their confidentiality and have a right to whether they want their parents to know these certain things or not.
There have been warnings that the policy change could lead to lawsuits, something supporters of the change say they're not too worried about. Last year, the Roseville School District decided to require parental consent, and more recently, Fairfield schools did the same. And Alicia, one recent legal review at the request of a state legislator did find that such policies may not line up with state law, but nonetheless, they have managed to stay in place so far.
Yeah, there's a gray area in the interpretation of that law. All right.
That's the question.
Thank you, Dave.
6:35, 2 more American soldiers have died in Iraq. One of them used to live in the San Joaquin Valley. 31-year-old Staff Sergeant Guy Hagee died Monday in Baghdad.
Okay, we're kind of crazy about that survivor.
Yes, we are. All right, WCHB Traffic Chief covers Jim Harris and Diane O'Brien joining us right now for checking the
y cómo esta enfermedad afecta a muchos hispanos. Y para hablarnos precisamente más del tema, tenemos con nosotros a la doctora Maritza Fuentes.
Women in downtown Sacramento opened its doors to parishioners.
118 years later, about 100 craftsmen and women are working to restore the beautiful place. Vitek Baginski joins us live from the top.
Staying in the moderate range, still a little bit smoky out there. That should start to break up, though, as we head towards the weekend, once we pick up that onshore flow and that southwesterly wind will clear out the atmosphere. Sacramento in the moderate range today. Stockton and Modesto also doing the same in the moderate range. Our Thursday forecast highs in the 70s for the coast after starting off with low clouds, sunshine for the afternoon. Sunny skies for the valleys, our highs in the 90s, and 80s for the foothills, 70s for the Sierra. We'll continue to watch Ivan and give you the latest on that and the threat for some showers in our area for the weekend. That's coming up in 10 minutes. Right now, here's Melissa.
Watch for a stalled car, Highway 65 southbound near Riosa Road, and that's about it in terms of problems on our freeways. Good speeds to contend with on both Interstate 5 and Highway 99. Slow spot right around Mac, but still moving above 30 miles per hour at that location. And a motorcycle accident at Fruit Ridge at Hedge appears to be in the clearing stages. Rest of our freeways looking good. Let's take it live outside and show them to you at this hour. We're looking pretty good on both 80 and 50. This is what 50 looks like near downtown at 65th. So far, so good at this location. Interstate 80 looking good, both from the split on in and top of town. Air 10 reporting no big problems at that location. Do have some slowdowns. Interstate 80 near the Bay Area this morning, including approaching the toll plaza. Very heavy traffic being reported from 6:30 on from Fairfield all the way into the toll plaza. This is a live update of conditions here. Things pretty stacked up. Now, there are no accidents to report, but unfortunately, this is becoming the case with our Bay Area commute all the way out the door from the Davis area on Interstate 80. BART trains, though, on time this morning. That is good news after yesterday's delays. Back to you.
Thank you, Melissa. 6:42 is our time to get the early numbers from Wall Street. The Dow starting off the day up after a down day yesterday. It's up 19 points. NASDAQ up 7 points.
Gunmen in Iraq have taken 2 Americans and a British man hostage. The Iraqi government says the men were kidnapped from a home Thursday morning. Iraqi officials believe the men were working for a construction firm there. U.S. officials are still investigating the incident. At least 4 other Westerners are now being held captive in Iraq.
One of those conjoined twin girls who underwent separation surgery in Baltimore has died. Johns Hopkins officials say Lee and Tabia Block were successfully separated, but Tabia died shortly after the procedure. Right now, her sister is in critical but stable condition.
In the 2004 vote, Senator John Kerry heads to Las Vegas today, where he'll try out his more confrontational line of attacks against President Bush. The audience, veterans of the National Guard, is the same one that gave the president a standing ovation 2 days ago, despite all of the controversy surrounding his service in the Guard during the Vietnam War. Kerry is expected to focus on what he believes are the president's missteps in Iraq. He used much sharper language at campaign events yesterday to criticize Bush's decision to go to war.
It was not listening to the advice that he was given. It was arrogant, turning your back on the decisions that were available to you, and we're paying the price.
The same audience of guardsmen heard the president's defense, but did not hear any specifics about how long the ongoing deployments of National Guard and reserves would continue. It's not certain if Senator Kerry will bring up those deployments today. Meanwhile, President Bush is focusing on health care today during 2 stops in Minnesota. Despite the president's recent jump in national polls, a Minnesota survey still shows the race is a dead heat.
Our time now is 6:44. Martha Stewart has made a request to her trial judge. She wants to go to prison now. Stewart was convicted last April, lying to investigators about her sale of in-clone stock. The judge allowed Stewart to put off her sentence while her lawyers appealed, but now Martha Stewart says she wants to serve her time so she can gain closure.
The only way to reclaim my life and the quality of life for all those related to me with certainty now is to serve my sentence, surrender to the authorities so that I can quickly return as soon as possible to the life and the work that I love.
Stewart's attorney says she could begin serving her 5-month prison sentence in just a few weeks and could be out by March, possibly before the appeal is even heard.
Johnny Ramone, the co-founder and guitarist of the legendary punk band The Ramones, has died. That's according to the group's website. Ramone passed away in his sleep Wednesday afternoon in his Los Angeles home. Johnny founded the Ramones in 1974. The group members were considered to be the forefathers of the punk rock movement in America, with songs like I Wanna Be Sedated and Blitzkrieg Bop. Johnny Ramone was 55 years old.
All right, this one sounds perhaps like your favorite sci-fi movie. NASA says people could land on Mars in the next 20 years. They say it all depends on whether or not they can find water on the red planet. 2 robot rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, have found some remnants of water on the red planet. A mission to Mars would take about a year. Space shuttles aren't able to carry enough water for astronauts for a trip that long.
Well, here's some news for you. Drivers are neglecting their tires, and now the Department of Transportation wants to do something about it. It's proposing a requirement that all cars get warning lights alerting drivers when their tires are running low on air. The government says this requirement might add about $70 to the price of a car, but it would save drivers nearly $2 billion in total fuel and vehicle costs. A recent survey last spring found more Americans wash their cars more often than checking their tires.
All right, you know the expression, wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now a new study says the bigger your nostrils, the stronger your sense of smell. German researchers studied about 100 people for these findings, and they found the size of your nose doesn't affect your sense of smell. That was once thought. They also found the right nostril is stronger than the left nostril.
I can't believe we're talking about this on the morning show.
Nose has been a topic of conversation.
I don't do nose stories. I don't talk about nose sizes. When we come back, we're going to have one last look at the direction of Hurricane Ivan.
That will be in weather and traffic on the 10s. First, though, let's take a look at your current travel times as you head out the door this morning. You are watching News 10. Good morning.
Thanks.
To tell you the location for tomorrow's Free Friday giveaway, we're going to be out at Placer County Fairgrounds. 800 All-American City Boulevard is the address in Roseville, and if you go out there between 5 and 7 tomorrow morning, you will receive a ticket to the Roseville Design Expo. That's set for the fairgrounds in Placer County this weekend, September 17th and 19th, so check that out tomorrow morning on News 10. Good morning.
I bet your wife could get some good ideas there.
If we could find the time to break away from soccer, we might be able to attend that thing, but
not this
gonna
weekend.
happen.
All right, 6:50. We do weather and traffic on the 10s. Let's check in with Monica Williams.
Sure, that's the excuse. He just doesn't want to spend
And
any more
I'm
money.
sticking to it.
No, you just don't want to spend any more money. We're busy, Claudia. We're busy.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah.
Today we are going to start off with the beautiful sky here. We're right past sunrise, and our shot from Air 10 showing that. Modesto 66, Marysville 65, San Francisco 58, and Fairfield's at 64. Live Weather Network, we check in with Stockton, clear skies and 69 degrees. Warm in Roseville as well at 62. Auburn still at 68, and Pollock Pines is at 58. Latest on Hurricane Ivan, you can continue to see how this is spiraling its way right on through the deep south here. Panama City still receiving some showers, outer bands there, indicating the red. That is from strong storms. The potential for thunderstorms and tornadoes exist for today. Now we look at the progression here, and it's really starting to lose its distinct eye that it normally has as it makes landfall. Once it makes landfall, it doesn't have anything to gain any strength, so it will continue to lose strength strength today. Still plenty of rain and thunder and lightning associated with that, as well as strong winds. Winds at about 80 miles per hour. It will continue to decrease, though, as it heads farther inland. North movement at about 17 miles per hour right now. Satellite and radar perspective across the west coast. We do have clear skies, some clouds to the north of us. A deepening low pressure system is going to move our way. That will bring us clouds for the weekend and the potential for some showers, mainly for the foothills and Sierra. San Francisco, a high today of 71, overnight low of 58. We look to the Coastal Valley and Delta area, sunny skies. Highs will be in the 90s still today. Rio Vista, though, down to about 88. The northern San Joaquin Valley, a breezy northwest wind. Highs will be in the 90s and will stay right around 90 for the Sacramento area with sunny skies and overnight lows in the 50s. Lincoln warming to 91 today, sunny skies. Oroville also up to 91 with the south wind. The foothill forecast, west wind today, sunny skies and highs in the 80s. Just up the hill a bit, Truckee, Lake Tahoe, both in the 70s, sunny skies, west wind about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Our 7-day forecast, there's the cloud cover and also the cooler temperatures. Over the weekend, highs will cool to the 70s and will stay there through Monday. Here's Melissa.
Watch for a stalled big rig and an overturned trailer causing some problems. Location northbound 99 frontage road to Highway 99 in Stockton, right around Mariposa. They're trying to clean up 30,000 pounds of dirt. That is the frontage road to 99 at Mariposa. Heads up for some delays there. No big delays to contend with on our freeways in and around Sacramento, looking good. And speeds for the most part averaging over 50 miles per hour. Some slow spots right here, 99 northbound at 12. Also expect the normal delays at Mac Road northbound 99, but no big headaches due to accidents at last check. Interstate 5 doing well from both north and south of town. How are we faring on Interstate 80? Air 10 showing us conditions Interstate 80 right around Douglas this morning, and looks like traffic moving along at a pretty good clip. A little bit of slowing as we approach the split. Highway 50 still doing well. We'll show you another location on 50. Here at Hazel, no major headaches to contend with. That is good news. Both BART and ACE trains on time. BART, no delays after some big problems yesterday afternoon. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Melissa. We've been reporting this morning on a controversial vote in Rockland that would require parents to be notified when their kids leave school for medical appointments.
As News 10's Dave Marquis has been telling us, it pitted the rights of students against the rights of parents. Good morning, Dave.
Dan and Alicia, good morning. Well, historically, the vast majority of California school districts, when kids wanted to go to medical appointments involving things like reproductive and mental health and substance abuse issues, they've been able to do that without getting parental consent. Now, in the last few years, a small number of districts have begun to overturn that idea, that policy, and required that parents be notified. And now, by unanimous vote, our Rockland School District School Board trustees have agreed to that same kind of a policy. Controversial, yes, but so far these districts have been able to maintain these policies in place.
Controversial to say the least. What about legal challenges? Are they expected?
Well, certainly they are. There have been some, and I think you can expect to see this litigated out and perhaps eventually definitively ruled upon by higher courts. But so far that hasn't happened, even though one independent legislative analyst at the legislature that works for the legislature has indicated these policies may violate state law. But again, so far they've stayed in place.
All right. Thank you, Dave. In our top stories this morning, 2 American soldiers have died in Iraq.
And one of them used to live in the San Joaquin Valley. 31-year-old Staff Sergeant Guy Hagee died Monday in Baghdad, a bomb exploding near his post. Back in the mid-1990s, he lived in Lodi with his wife before enlisting in the Army.
Californians will soon be able to enjoy lower prescription drug prices. Governor Schwarzenegger says major drug companies are agreeing in principle to lower their prices throughout the state. Schwarzenegger made the surprise announcement during a conference in Los Angeles Wednesday. The deal would help people like some senior citizens who boarded a train to Canada last month to buy cheaper drugs. The governor does have a bill on his desk that would allow drugs to be imported from Canada, but the governor says he does not plan to sign it and he'll look for an alternative plan.
President Schwarzenegger? Well, that's a possibility if one California congressman has his way. Republican Dana Rohrabacher has introduced a constitutional amendment that would allow anyone who has been an American citizen for 20 years to run for president. Congressman Rohrabacher says he introduced the amendment to honor Tom Lantos, a 76-year-old Bay Area congressman who was born in Hungary.
All right, let's get a last look at our roadways from the sky. We have Jason Darr this morning, live in Air 10. Hi, Jason.
All right, how you doing? Okay, well, we're doing a little bit better than the people here on 80 at the Antelope Truck Scales. We've got slowdowns in both directions, east and west.
You see
A lot of cars out there on the road this morning, Jason. All right, let's see if Melissa's got you got an explanation for this, Melissa. What's going on?
Busy freeways in the area. They're hoping maybe that those carpool lanes might help out just a little bit, but Jason's shown us, unfortunately, not a big help from many of the folks on the roadways right now. Check out those delays. Antelope, the good news, though, it's one of the heaviest spots on 80 right now. It thins out just a tiny bit when you get to the split. So thanks, Jason, for a look outside, and it's nice to check out Jason today in his News 10 hat.
We saw him. Yeah. It's not just a voice. There is actually a face that goes along with that.
With the mystery man.
Yeah. And Jason, I'd say it's a nice looking face, but yesterday when I said something nice about Monica, I got accused of being inappropriate for a married man, so I, better not say. You look good though, Jason.
Thank you very much. News 10
look good. Yeah,
He's
nice
looking a little scared, like, please don't say anything.
Yeah, what the heck. We'll keep a picture up there as Monica fills us in on the weather.
All right, well, for today, we are going to continue to see rather warm conditions. Normally this time of year, we're in the low, upper 80s, I should say. Today we'll be in the low 90s, even cooler for the weekend. This is the last weekend of summer. We're going to be in the 70s, perhaps a few showers expected for the foothills and Sierra. And our last look at Ivan, real quickly here. This is our live radar, and you can see that there are still some outer bands indicating red on there on the radar. The potential for thunderstorms and tornadoes exists today, perhaps the most dangerous activity of this event. Winds are now at 80 miles per hour. It will continue to lose strength, but definitely hold the potential for more flooding throughout the deep south. And as it makes its way through the mid-Atlantic and East Coast states, we have some travel delays that are probable throughout the end of the work week and the weekend.
Absolutely. Carol Lee, we did get your email. We'll read it tomorrow morning. We want to remind you that you got to keep it right here with News 10 for continuing coverage of Hurricane Ivan. They're all over it on Good Morning America. Thanks for spending some time with us.